Hello and welcome to Spaghetti Minds. This is Mahesh and I'm here with Alex Freund. Alex is a career coaching expert and he's going to talk to us today about career transformation, career search, as well as help you find that next job. I hope you'll enjoy this discussion today with Alex. I'm particularly excited given where we are and the state that we are in today, where finding the next job is so critical, and Alex is going to help you get there. Alex, the way we're going to do this today is we'll get straight into the questions to help the viewers the most. So if you could get started, I'm going to ask you the first question. Get started, and in between you can weave in your background, your introduction, and everything there. Is that okay, Alex?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem, thank you. So, Alex, let's get started. How are you helping your clients?
Well, I'm helping my clients by facilitating their success. It's about them. I want them to feel empowered. So we sit together, we are learning very carefully what are the circumstances, the specific circumstances of my client. There are no two clients alike. So once I clearly understand who they are, what are the issues, then together we figure out a plan, we tailor it specifically, and then we move on.
Very nice, very nice. So let's move on. I have a list of questions that I really wanted to get into here with you, and
Sure.
we'll go into quite a depth here. So let's
Sure.
move on from there. Who are your typical clients? How do you really go about finding them, and who are your typical clients?
My clients are people from all walks of life. I have people that are system analysts, just beginners, even very young college graduates. I also have people that are senior vice presidents, people that are CEOs, and anything in between. I can tell you this, most of the people that come to me are people that are frustrated with the job search. They are stuck, they don't know what is the next step, and they want to move forward, and that's the reason they call me. You know, when you are sick, you call your doctor, you don't call the doctor asking, doctor, how are you today? You have a problem, so you go to the expert. That's why you call the doctor. That's typically how people call me.
So what's the most important thing you do when they are in transition?
I have to tell you, Mahesh, I became very, very opinionated about this. And, the first 4 years of my coaching, and by the way, I'm doing this now 7 years. The first 4 years, I help people, like every other career coach, with their resumes. Again, everything starts with your resume. After 4 years, I came to conclusion, as much as I want to help the entire world, I'm just simply not good enough at this. So I have been sending them to professional resume writers, recommended, certified people. These are people that work the whole day only on doing resumes. And some of them are outstanding. And what you need is an outstanding resume. Today, a good or very good resume is not cutting it. Unless you have an outstanding resume, only then you are running. And that's the reason I suggest that they be prepared by a professional resume writer. Next, I'm teaching my clients how to be effective at networking. It is known that about 80% of the people get their jobs via networking. But many people go to networking, or they call it at least networking, but in fact, they are not effective. So they don't get what they deserve and what they want. I'm helping them stay organized and be systematic. After a while, when people are in transition, they're all over the map and they cannot get results. And that's why they become so frustrated. I, as a career coach, I help them get organized, be systematic, and we stay on top of it so that we progress at the pace that we want to.
Isn't that true when you say about networking? You're absolutely right. In fact, I'm trying to change the whole word networking, and I'm coming out with an article called Let's Start Calling It Nurturing instead of Networking. That's absolutely true. So how can one find you?
Well, I can tell you this with a great deal of pride. I can tell you I'm prominent in my geographic area. People know me. I do several one, two, or three public speaking at various libraries. I'm teaching at the Princeton Adult School. People know me in the area. I'm prominent. I'm happy to tell you that. I support several ongoing job search networking groups. Some of them I've been doing it for the last 7 years. Word of mouth is another source. I find that often spouses come to me. Let's say the husband was first, 6 months later the wife is in transition, then she come. In fact, they send their children to me. So at times I have three generations or three people in the same family that I'm helping. Uh, Publicity in the local area certainly helps me. The local area, they write about what I do. I'm active, very active in social media, LinkedIn, definitely, Twitter. It's a part of being able to be found. Also happy to report I have a website, landingexpert.com. Believe it or not, 3,000 people view this website on a monthly basis because I list a very popular list called the Landing Expert List. It lists job search networking groups anywhere from Connecticut to Delaware. And it's a 70, 80-page document with well over 100 listings. So it's very popular.
Very nice. So when somebody comes to you for coaching, how does a typical session look like?
Well, most of the sessions happen in my home office. I have a very nice home office with privacy. The first time people come to me, I ask them to please come dressed as if they were to go for a real interview. Why? It's important for them to hear from me my opinion, unbiased opinion. I give them straight talk, feedback. It's very unique because I can tell you this, Mahesh. Nobody will tell you, not a spouse, not a friend, not a family member, if something is wrong with your image. I'm paid to do that. So, that's what I do. It's very helpful. I point out to people sometimes the color combination that they are wearing is not right. I have several ladies, as an example, that are, there are too many things coming in with. Simplicity is what the interview requires. This way, I'm able to assure them that they go prepared and they create a right image for that interview.
So the whole coaching process involves many steps. Is there a particular step that you specialize in?
Yes, look, the word coaching today is a big word. Everybody's a coach today. There are sports coach, life coaches, career coaches. But you see, even in the career coaching field, I narrow it down to being someone who is an expert in the interviewing preparation process. It's a very important part of finding a job. As I told you, I don't have too much anymore with resumes, although I have to tell you, twice a year in my local community, I do a free 3-hour resume workshop. So yes, I understand the resumes clearly, but I really want my people to use the expert in resume writing. I'm an expert in interviewing. In my career, I hired many, many people. I typically supported very large organizations, many departments. I also like this. I took, which is quite unique, I have to tell you, 4 times in my career, I took different classes, seminars about how to interview. Why did I do 4? Because I constantly interviewed people, and I happen to have an affinity for this subject.
You definitely come across very motivated, Alex, and I think that shows probably that's a good
Thank
reflection
you.
of the work you do.
I am.
So a lot of things. I mean, we already in this last few minutes we discussed quite a lot. What can people really do to get a job? What should they be doing?
Well, as I said, they have to have the resume done by a professional, clearly. Next step, they need to do a lot of work on their own. They need to learn how to get a job, as simple as it sounds. Read a lot of articles. People need to go out networking. For some people, that is very difficult. I'm helping them kind of get out from their cocoon and go out there, shake hands, exchange business cards, follow up. So yes, I'm teaching them how to network. And a lot of what we do in my home office is mock interviewing. Now, some people, of course, cannot come to my office. I can tell you this, I have clients in Dubai, I have clients in Singapore, I have clients in China, in Paris, in London, East Coast, West Coast, South, North, everywhere. So of course, these are people who cannot come to my office. As I do with you now, I use extensively Skype, I use FaceTime, and the telephone if need be.
So the whole process of interviewing, the steps to get a job, I mean, it's pretty widely published. There are books written about it. Coaches like you obviously teach that day in and day out. And ever since we started thinking, I'm sure we kind of learned how to present ourselves or get there. Still, people find it hard. So what blocks people from getting a job?
Well, very often I see people coming to me, they are literally emotionally stuck. And I don't want to say this with any negativity or so forth, but I can tell I'm talking to them, they listen, but they don't hear. They're emotionally, they're so in a cocoon, they can't release themselves. I'm also helping them kind of get out of that cocoon, because until you're ready to listen and follow, until then, you're just holding yourself back. Many people come to my office, frankly, with some preconceived ideas. What do they say? Well, look, I'm a vice president. I was so successful for so many years. I'm good at this. 5, 10 years ago, it was easy for me to get a job. So why should I have a difficulty right now? 5, 10 years ago, I used to have a resume and, people called me. People don't call me now. So yeah, they come with some preconceived idea. Other things, they just don't know how to go about finding a job. They didn't have to. They had a great job. I'm helping them understand the process. I'm a teacher. As a career coach, I'm a teacher. I explain to them that the interview is not about the skills. The interview is about the fit. The skills are very important to be selected to come for an interview. But guess what? Everybody else that is going to interview for the same job has very good skills. Otherwise, they wouldn't be invited. So I am helping them understand all about fit. You need to fit into the mind of the interviewer, fit into their culture. You see, interviewing is about creating an image. Very, very important. The interviewer, and I interviewed many people in my career, the interviewer interviews several people. Regretfully, it's not only you. And the decision is not being made during the interview, because I interview you and several other people. At the end of the day, I kind of close my mind, close my eyes, sorry, and I'm thinking, and you don't sit in front of me at that point, but you etched an image in my mind, and I make a decision on the image that you left behind and not you sitting in my office. I explain to people I'm helping with that they are being a candidate. That you see, a candidate is nothing less than a salesperson. When you come to my office, your objective is to sell yourself. Now, if you sit the other side of the desk and you sell yourself, I'm here at this side of the desk. Who am I? I'm the buyer. So it's very clear our relationship. You're selling, I'm buying. Now, the buyer is Mr. Skeptic. The buyer doesn't believe everything a salesperson says. So unless you bring facts, unless you convince me that what you say is true, via your little vignettes, little success stories, I'm not sure if I believe 100% everything you say. And you see, above all, the interview is not about you as a candidate. The interview is about me. I'm the decision maker. I will decide if I like you or not.
It is so true. It is so true. And I think the key point for everybody watching this video is the decision is made after the process is over, when you are not in front of the interviewer. I think that's such a profound meaning that you have conveyed there.
Absolutely.
So you have gone through your life. You have obviously done a lot of coaching, and we just heard some great things from you. If you were to summarize, what would you like to share? If you were to kind of summarize this, crystallize this, what would you like to share?
Well, you know what? The best thing that a person can do for himself is to hire himself a coach. And please, at this point, I want to say a disclaimer. Listen carefully what I say. I say hire a coach. I did not say hire Alex. Working with a coach helps you several ways. First of all, it speeds your process. Instead of being months and months and months and months and failing and being frustrated, a coach shortens the time span. Uh, Working with a coach, you learn from a professional. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You are in a different business. I'm in the business of teaching you how to get a job. You get unbiased feedback. Again, very, very important, because you may be doing the wrong things, and if nobody tells you that, you just don't know why it takes so long to get a job. A career coach is a motivator. He keeps you on track. He holds you accountable. And at the end, one of the things I do, I teach people how to negotiate a compensation package. Very important, and I have to tell you, I've done with some of my clients miracles. They were able to negotiate so much a higher salary and benefit that what they paid me for my teaching them was a minuscule part. So it's definitely a good deal.
I know this may not be something that you were ready to answer, and it's probably a private thing, but let me ask you this, just for the interest of the viewers. What would a typical coaching session, not with you, please, it's fine if you want to share it, but how much would a typical coaching session cost usually?
I charge right now $300 a session. People spend with me a minimum of 2 hours every time we meet, but sometimes 2 hours, 15 minutes, sometimes it's 3 hours. Mahesh, I have to tell you, I'm very opinionated about this. I refuse to work like a doctor. I go to my doctor, and every 15 minutes he said, Alex, I'm sorry, I need to see somebody else, somebody is waiting. And I always feel rushed out. When people come to see me, it's a minimum of 2 hours. If it's 2 hours and 15 or 2 hours and 30 minutes, so be it. You have me fully paying attention to you. Because some people learn fast and some people learn slower. Just because you are a little bit slower than others or your situation is a little more complex, I'm not going to penalize you. I need to give you perfect attention throughout the time that we are together. And I absolutely refuse to be pushed by the clock. Why is it 2 hours? I checked out my competition and nobody is doing 2 hours. Others do either 45 minutes, 50 minutes, or 60 minutes. Funnily enough, nobody does 55 minutes. How do they do this in 55 minutes? In 50 minutes, 45 minutes? I don't know. By the time people come to me and I'm asking them, what's going on? What did you do the last week? And so forth, 10 minutes is gone. They feel cheated. My objective is when people leave my office, they feel satisfied, they feel empowered, they feel good, and they feel energized. And I hate to tell you, it just takes time, and I refuse to rush.
Very nice, very nice. Good to hear that. So let's move on. Let's talk about a couple of other things. The world is changing. You mentioned Twitter, you mentioned LinkedIn, you mentioned Facebook. What is the role of social media, and what are your thoughts about it?
Social media is big, social media is here to stay, and it's only going to become bigger and it's more potent. 90+% of hiring managers and companies look you up on social media before they even make the first attempt to discuss with you. So they know an awful lot about you. Social media is changing. The learning curve is slow and it's steep. I always suggest to people to spend a lot of time learning social media. We focus a lot on LinkedIn, And I have to tell you, I have my special uh, sense of humor when with my clients. I tell them, look, when you come to me, I am like a doctor and you are my patient. And before you leave my office, you will get a prescription. And you know what I write on the prescription? You will spend an hour every day on LinkedIn. And I say this with a sense of humor and joke, of course, but I really mean it. LinkedIn is extremely important when you are in transition.
Very, very good. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So, on the same theme of social media and jobs and everything, the jobs report just came out yesterday. The unemployment went up by a percentage point or a 0.1%. It's now at 7.9%.
Yeah.
But yet, employers still find difficult to hire employees. So, what's your take on the state of the job market today, and where do you think it's going?
Well, let me tell you this. It's great to listen to what the government tells you. That's wonderful. But, every so often when I make this public speaking and I raise a question, a kind of, so what is unemployment rate? And people shout out, 7.9, 8.2, they shout numbers. And with a smile on my face, I point my finger at somebody and I said, so are you working right now? They said, no, I'm not. I'm in transition. So, okay, let me ask you a question. What's an employment rate in your case? And they smile. They say it's 100%. No, when you work, there's no unemployment. When you don't work, it's 100%. That's reality. But there are trends. Lately, I see more and more people get hired. I mean, there's nothing more rewarding for me to get a call or an email from a client and they're saying, Alex, guess what? I got the job. That's what I wanted. Oh my God. Honestly, Mahesh, I feel like I have gotten the job because I know they work very, very hard. It's trickling, it's not flowing, it's not robust, it's a soft market, but I see it's much better than it used to be. Still, it is very slow.
Well, let's hope for the best there. Let's hope that everybody out there looking for a job watching this video does get motivated by what you said and goes out and finds their dream job very quickly. But talking about that, um, can one be happy and can one find joy while they are searching for a job, while they are in transition, while they are struggling to probably pay their next bill? Can one be happy?
Oh, Mahesh, absolutely, absolutely, categorically. Let me tell you what my secret is. First of all, help others. And I tell my clients, please go and volunteer. And when I say this, they raise their eyebrows. I need a job. What do you mean? Volunteer. And I said, that's exactly what I mean. Go out and volunteer. And when I say volunteer, I don't say volunteer 40 hours a week. Volunteer 4 hours a week. 1 day, 2 days, as much as fits your plan. But you see, when you go out, you volunteer, you benefit from several things. A, you feel good about yourself. And when in transition, feeling good about yourself is very important. Mahesh, that's the only place that nowadays somebody will say thank you, and you need to hear that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
important. If you do a good job, you will be identified as somebody that potentially could be hired. And I heard many cases of people volunteering. Next time they found a job there. So yes, giving is a wonderful thing. It will bring you happiness. On a self basis, on yourself, I know what I do every day, literally 7 days a week in the summer. If the weather is nice, the first thing I do in the morning, I go out for a half an hour, 45 minutes walk. In the winter, I do it on my treadmill. You have to do something for yourself every day. Whether that means doing a manicure or doing your hair or going to movies or to theater, every day do something for yourself. You are not, it's only bunny rabbit that keeps running forever. You need to be recharged. Please do that. You'll be much happier.
Alex, there's, as I said earlier, there's a profound wisdom in what you're saying here. How did you land in this kind of a professional field? I know your background was different. How did you come up with coaching? And
Yes,
and and, and probably learn all this wisdom and share it out, and of course.
yes, my background is very different. I came to the United States to study hotel management at Cornell University. I was in the hotel field for a very short time, and then I moved into 8 years working in hospitals, medical centers, being a department head. And then I moved into the private industry. I worked for 5 different industries, typically headquarters of Fortune 500 companies, sometimes Fortune 100 companies. I started managing their food services, and pretty soon my boss identified me as somebody that can get promoted, and I ended up managing 30 different departments, service-oriented departments. After several years, I found myself in transition like many other people, and I knew I was good at what I did, and I wanted to get back to that. The marketplace didn't like it so much. Well, I'm a person that likes helping others. I truly enjoy doing that. I get personal benefit from that. And people told me, Alex, you're good at it. Why don't you become a career coach? And I looked at them and said, you know what? I love big paychecks. Career coaching doesn't bring you a big paycheck, but it brings an enormous amount of satisfaction. And I kept doing it until one day somebody sat me down and said, Alex, you're good at what you're doing. But you see, you want to help the world. You're not taking money. You've got to take money, and only then you become a career coach. And then I said, you're right. That's what I'll do. So you know what? I declared myself a career coach. I had probably 7 years of experience by doing this already. Mahesh, I'm very happy to tell you, my business is doing very well, almost booming. Every single year since I started 7 years ago, my business is growing, more and more clients. I have now more than 400 clients that I supported so far. Happy to tell you that last year's income was 27% bigger than the prior year. And these are some numbers that repeat themselves and so forth. Look at me, I'm a very, very happy camper. I'm doing the right thing and I'm happy.
Excellent. Folks, you need to hear this. In the toughest year, Alex did very well. And that is an inspirational message to anybody out there trying to make a living and become better. I think that's fantastic. This has been great, Alex. I mean, I really have to thank you for coming here and sharing this wisdom. On a lighter vein, do you follow football?
No, I don't.
Are you planning to pick a winner for tomorrow's Super Bowl?
No, I have other plans.
Very good. Alex, thank you so much.
My
This is
pleasure.
very
Thanks for
helpful,
inviting me.
and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thanks for inviting me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.